Well, good morning. It's sometime in the middle of January, and I'm out on Moss Lake today. Gonna do a service on a Yamaha, and then I gotta go home and do a bunch of scheduling stuff. But we're out here doing some work on a 250 Pro 250 show. We're working on a 250 show this morning. Spent a little time this morning getting the stuff together. The mosquitoes are terrible down here. By myself this morning, so I'll be trying to work the camera and do the job. Customer left us a list. He wants to change the oil, change the impeller, check the trolling motor plug connection, change water, fuel separator, filters, check all the lights, the floor lights, the trim tabs, jack plate, up, down, motor, wiring, tube, fix at motor. Okay, I believe we can handle that. My dog's making oral. Got an Earl sucker out here. Gonna pump her out. Had to search everywhere to find these N26 Yamaha oil filters. Probably located them in a Quicksilver brand. Everybody seems to be out of these. Look at the mosquitoes. We're gonna change the fuel filter on the motor right now. Missing that screw. Okay, I service Mr. Don's motor regularly. We do it once a year. This is the difference in your fuel filter in 1 year. This is how it went in, and this is what it looks like today. And always remember, on these Yamahas, the black O-ring goes up. You change it by yourself at home, remember that, because I get a lot of people call me and tell me my motor runs out of gas after about 100 feet, and they put their fuel filter in upside down. It just sits in there. Put it back where it goes, you can screw it back in. Open them up so we don't have to go get another pair. Put a tall one back on there for him. We got a little better filtration. Okay, fuel water separator's replaced. That's sitting on Mr. Don's list. But I change the spark plugs in these once a year with the yearly maintenance because about the only problem I ever see out of these motors is a foul spark plug. So a couple of spark plugs isn't worth missing a fishing trip over. You know, a lot of people figure out that general maintenance is not necessarily wait until every maintenanceable part on the motor is worn out before you change them. General maintenance is changing the part on a yearly schedule so that you don't ever have problems with it. General maintenance eliminates downtime. Whether it's commercial, you use your boat every day, or you use your boat 5 times a year. Because if you don't work on your boat, when you decide you want to use it, it's not going to work for you. See, these plugs still look decent, but that one right there, that one's getting pretty close to being fouled. Take one of these rags and sure save you a mess. So you can get this back on your nasty old truck. What I'm doing is I'm going to drop the lower unit on this motor. We do a bunch of that. You've already seen it. If you don't care, fast forward. We got to do it anyway. This is a Yamaha 250 show. We're going to pull the lower unit off, change the water pump impeller. We're going to put it back on. Most of my customers, we do an impeller once a year and a full water pump kit every other year on one of these. We did his impeller and water pump last year. So this year, unless it's got a problem, we're just going to change the impeller and go on about our business. This is a routine maintenance customer, so we shouldn't have any problem getting this lower unit off. Should come off fairly easy. And if I do your water pump and do have trouble getting your lower unit off, I make sure that the next guy that does it is not going to have that much trouble. Because we grease all the bolts, we clean all the salts off everything. So it gets a fresh start for the new year. Okay, everybody got your money ready? We're going to see how easy this comes off. Hopefully it ain't a big deal. Use a dead blow hammer. Doesn't shock the lower unit. Works really well. All right, let's see what kind of shape our lower water pump's in. Okay. Water pump looks pretty rough. You can see it's starting to crack. How rough it looks on the edges. It's gotten warmed up, that's for sure. And it takes the shape of the housing, so yeah, it's definitely time to replace that. I think we can clean this old wear plate up. It'll be in good shape. And the cup doesn't have any grooves in it. We'll clean it up and get the dirt out of it, and we'll put him all back together with a new water pump impeller. You want to put a little bit of mercury grease inside there. Make sure it's mercury grease. 2,4-C is what I like to use. Works way better than Yamaha grease. Make sure your O-ring sits back in the top or it's going to suck air. Then you take your water pump cup, line it back up with the slot where it's supposed to be. You set it back down in place. We got our brand new water pump propeller. I put a little grease inside of it so it slides on the shaft better. There we go. Set it right back down where it belongs. Take the cup, you put a little grease around inside the cup, and it's going to help the water pump slide back in. It helps it up on that first start. Some people turn the shaft. It all depends on what kind of mood I'm in. There we go. Most Yamahas don't give too big of a problem putting the lower unit back on. There we go. On a Yamaha show, 250, it's very important that you put this thing back on. It has to have this or it's going to overheat on you. It'll pump water while it's idling, but as soon as you take off, it's going to suck air, lose water pressure, and get hot. Takes about 100 yards. Okay, customer says the jack plate wasn't working. Fiddled around, I found a broken wire. It's bad connections. Now we got it working. It's really pretty surprising because usually those things don't last very long, and that one seems to not want to give up. All right, so I got all the electrical stuff working in this boat. We got the lights working. Bad connection. One of the lights had fell out into the bottom of the boat. It was working, it just wasn't where it was supposed to be. We have to buy a new trolling motor plug because that one is trashed. So we'll have to buy that and come back. And the Lenco trim tab switch, which is right here. I changed that on this boat 4 or 5 years ago. Trim tabs work fine. I unhooked those and hooked them straight to some power and they work great. But we're gonna have to put the switch on it and we'll be wrapped up with this project. Anyway, thanks for watching. On to the next project.